Good evening and welcome back to another reading of Hank the Cowdog, Let Sleeping Dogs Lie by John R. Erickson. Tonight, Chapter 6, An Unexpected Trip into Spook Canyon. But let's start with just a few sentences from Chapter 5. Holy smokes, that wasn't oil-filled traffic! It was a pickup that belonged to Beulah's ranch, and she was riding in the back. Mercy me, all at once I felt as giddy as a pup. I mean, consider the opportunity that it was about to fall into my lap. Here was the woman of my dreams, the most beautiful collie girl in the world, my one and only true love, coming down my road in a pickup truck I could bark all the way to the next cattle guard. If I'd been the least bit inclined to show off in front of the women, this provided me with the perfect opportunity. And while I wasn't one to cast my pearls before oysters, so to speak, or to engage in childish displays for the benefit of just any old girl dog, Beulah wasn't just any old bird dog. No way could I pass up this chance to show her my best stuff. You see, there were sides of my personality she had never seen, basically and fundamentally down at the bottom of the soil of my experience. There were where the roots of my complex personality lay pulling in the nutrients of I lost my train of thought there. Something about plants. Just lost it. Anyway, I guess I was talking about plants. In the past 60 days, I had noticed that there was more vegetation in the ditches alongside my road. Johnson grass, thistles, wildflowers, and oh yeah, Beulah. She was coming down my road in Billy's pickup. Hot dog, what an opportunity. I stood in the middle of the road and waited. You ever notice how pickups turn soupy? I know that sounds strange, but I've observed it many times. At a distance, maybe half a mile away, the front end of the pickup will turn soupy or watery, but at a distance, sometimes fuzzy. When it gets up close, it goes back to steel, but at a distance, it looks like chicken broth. It won't do it in the cold weather, but on a hot day, it happens all the time. I've often wondered if ordinary dogs notice such small details. It must be some special power of mine. I just thought that I'd throw that in because I saw Beulah's pickup and it was soupy. Now Billy was taking his time, driving slowly, which fit right into my plans. He came towards me, closing the gap between us. 50 feet out, he blew his horn. A hint, I suppose, for me to get out of the middle of the road. My road. He didn't understand my strategy. You never saw a bullfighter step out of the way in the path of a bull, did you? No, sir. The trick is you do it, but you wait until the very last possible second, make your audience think there's no escape, throw a good scare into them, and then put a couple of fancy moves together and escape death by the thickness of a hair. That's just what I did. Very slick move. No ordinary dog could have pulled that one off. It helped a little bit that Billy swerved to the ditch, near clipped the mailbox, but I would have sidestepped him anyway if he hadn't. Very slick move, though Billy didn't appreciate it. He bellowed something loud, kind of like a wounded rhinoceros, and called me things my mother never taught me. Beulah was standing on the spare tire, saw the whole thing. Boy, was she impressed. Plato was there too. Same story, very impressed. I fell behind the pickup and I chased after it. What did you think of that? Beulah wasn't smiling. It looked very foolish to me. You could have gotten us killed. Plato spoke up. That's a good point. Hank, I'm sure you'll agree that one of the risks of exhibitionism, why don't you just dry up? Right, but I thought I should point out, hey, Beulah, what's this? I did a few dives in the air, barking at the same time. You ever run into another dog who could do that little trick? They both looked at each other and shook their heads. Of course they hadn't. Nobody had. It was all brand new material. But this next one's gonna knock your socks off, I yelled. Just sit back and enjoy the show. I turned on a sudden burst of speed and zoomed around the side of the pickup. Oh, Billy was glaring down at me, talking under his breath. Come on over here, you soup hound. Just get a little bit closer. As a matter of fact, that is exactly what I had on my agenda. I turned on some heavy barking, sprinted forward, made a slash at the front tire. He blew his horn, swerved to the left. Didn't he think he could catch me unawares and roll me? Ha ha! Behind me, I could hear Beulah's voice. Hank, be careful. Don't get hurt showing off. She's right. That was Mr. Echo, the bird dog. Hank, that looks pretty risky to me. The sound of Beulah's voice, just by George, inspired me to do incredible things. I was ready to move mountains, fight wildcats, swim rivers, jump canyons, tear down trees, the whole 9 yards of amazing things a guy can do for that one special woman in his life. And the dangerouser, the better. Even old Billy was impressed, in spite of himself. I knew because I heard him say, try that one more time, doggy. Come on, go for that tire. Just one more time. I was a little more winded after burning up the road and doing all that serious barking, but hey, when you're begging for an encore like they were, what can you do? Turned on the last burst of speed, zoomed to take a snap at the front tire, and it was very sneaky and devious of the thing that he did. One of the sneakiest, deviousest things, foulest tricks that ever been sprung on me, and I fell for it, literally fell for it. Here's what the sneavious deek did to me. The devious sneak. Yeah, first, he asked me to bite his tire, right? Okay, so I did that. I made a dive for the front tire. Suddenly, he stomped on the gas and sped up and put me beside his door instead of beside the front tire. But here's the clinker. He opened the door, struck me in the rib cage, sent me rolling down the ditch, which happened to be a very deep, since it connected to one of the draws leading to Spook Canyon. What more, I think he did it on purpose. Well, fellers, I was flying lessons for this dog. It must have been 5 bottoms to that draw, and I hit every stinking one of them and kept rolling. Oh, rocks and brambles. Oh, hurt! When I returned to my senses, I was lying at the bottom of the ravine, not far from the creek and only a couple of steps east of death's door, so to speak. I opened my eyes into the tragic face of a basset hound, whose ears hung down to the level of his jowls, which hung down to the level of his front paws, which were pointed outward. That's a strange way to build a dog. Tender, juicy chicken, I said. Potatoes and gravy, he said in his slow-talking voice. I studied his face, What do you mean by that? Oh, I was just trying to make some conversation. Was that you that came flying off that hill? I looked up at the hill, which loomed some 75 feet above us. Yes, I'm the one. Thought maybe you was. Heard all the racket, came over here to check. Thought maybe you took a tumble the way it looked. Are you hurt? What do you think? Well, he was a slow thinker. Several minutes passed before he finished the sentence. I expect so. I pushed myself up into sitting position. Everything hurts. A lesser dog wouldn't have survived that fall. I took another sweep of his face. There was something familiar about it. Do I know you? Yep. We served time together at the TDP. Texas Department of what? Twitchell Dog Pound. You was there on suspicion of hydrophobia. Oh, yes, it's coming back to me now. He sniffed his nose. You had eaten a bar of soap, made your mouth foam balled up. Yes, indeed. That was the day I broke out and ran for my life. Let's see, they were going to cut off my head and send it to the state lab in Houston. Austin. And to make my escape, I had to flatten the cyclone fence. Well, you tried. Yes, I tried and succeeded. I could hear the sound of the snapping metal. A guy's memory plays tricks on him. Exactly, I can hear it, just as though it happened yesterday. That snapping was your neck. Yes, yes, when I hit the fence. It's all coming back to me now. What an adventure that was. Uh-huh. And let's see, your name is Clyde, as I recall. Yes, I'm sure it is, because I remember thinking you looked like a Clyde. Ralph. No, it was Clyde. Ralph. Hey, listen, I'm the one who's remembering this story. Yeah, but I'm the one who knows my name. Neither of us blinked for quite some time. It was a tense moment. All right, if you want to call yourself Ralph, that's no skin off my nose, but you and I both know that your real name is Clyde. The question is, why did you suddenly decide to change it? He wagged his head, causing his ears to flop. I've been Ralph since I was a pup. Never been Clyde in my whole life. I managed to laugh. Come on, Ralph, the party's over. Took me a minute to put everything together, but I got it now. You're under arrest for murder. You'll have to join us tomorrow night for Chapter 7, when Hank does a brilliant interrogation of a difficult subject. Thanks for joining me tonight. You guys be careful out there, love one another, and above all, be kind and be safe. I want to see you again. Bye now.